Denzel Washington is not the type of man who dives into drama for clicks. His name carries weight for its dignity, discipline, and integrity. For decades, he's remained largely apolitical in Hollywood feuds, quietly standing tall in a city built on illusions. So when word started circulating that Denzel was questioning Oprah Winfrey's connection to Diddy, it wasn't taken lightly. This wasn't coming from a tabloid. This was Denzel, a man who only speaks when it truly matters. And suddenly, silence gave way to speculation. It all started when Diddy's glittering empire began to crumble. He had once been untouchable, throwing opulent parties, cruising on yachts, mingling with the elite. But it all unraveled when a series of lawsuits exposed horrifying allegations: trafficking, abuse, exploitation of minors, secret rooms, NDAs. Federal raids followed, uncovering what some agents described as the darkest materials they'd ever encountered. As the investigation grew deeper and uglier, another name began surfacing in the shadows: Oprah Winfrey. Yes, that Oprah. The billionaire talk show queen. The face of emotional healing. The woman who once symbolized compassion and empowerment. But behind the warmth of her on-screen hugs and soulful monologues, darker questions began to surface. Why was she so closely tied to Diddy? Why had she offered him platforms, praise, and legitimacy throughout the years? Photos resurfaced. Interviews replayed. They weren't just acquaintances. Oprah and Diddy had a history. Public appearances, mutual admiration, business circles that seemed oddly tight-knit in retrospect. Suddenly, their alliance didn't look so innocent. And according to industry whispers, Denzel Washington had quietly harbored concerns for years. It wasn't just about Diddy. It was about Oprah's selective morality, especially when it came to the black community she claimed to uplift. It turns out, Oprah's media halo might be dimmer than most imagined. Her track record with black actresses has long been called into question. Taraji P. Henson nearly walked away from The Color Purple, a film Oprah helped produce, over being drastically underpaid. Monique told a similar story years prior and was blackballed for daring to speak up. The common thread. Oprah, the same woman who preaches empowerment, allegedly lowballed two of the most decorated black women in film. And Denzel, a man who's made a career by lifting others up, reportedly took notice. The issue, as he seems to see it, isn't just Oprah's associations. It's the pattern. A pattern of aligning herself with powerful men like Harvey Weinstein, only to stay silent as their dark secrets spilled out. A pattern of disappearing when accountability is needed most. It's calculated, critics say. It's strategic. Then there's the Monique betrayal. In 2008, she trusted Oprah with a personal trauma, her abuse at the hands of her brother. It was private. It was raw. It wasn't meant for television. But Oprah, without warning, invited that very brother, along with Monique's estranged parents, onto her show. No heads up. No consent. Just ratings. And when the cameras rolled, Oprah disguised exploitation as empathy. That moment shattered illusions. And for Denzel, who has always championed dignity over spectacle, it was yet another sign that something about Oprah's kingdom didn't sit right. Fast forward to now. Diddy is facing allegations that read like nightmares. Secret tunnels. Controlled environments. Exploited youth. And Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, doesn't just implicate Diddy, he draws a bigger map. He names names. Oprah. Harvey Weinstein. Epstein. He suggests they weren't just attendees at the same events, they ran in the same disturbing circles. It sounds unbelievable, until you start connecting the dots. The cozy red carpet moments. The interviews full of praise. The mutual silence when scandals erupt. Suddenly, Denzel's reported discomfort starts making sense. Because the thing about power in Hollywood is it's rarely what it seems. Alliances aren't just about friendship. They're about protection. And it's not just Denzel sounding the alarm. Ludacris appeared on Oprah's show in 2005, only to have his defense edited out while Oprah zeroed in on his lyrics. The result? He looked complicit and apologetic. But the full conversation, his full truth, never aired. It wasn't just misleading. It was manipulation. 50 Cent said it even louder. He accused Oprah of catering to white audiences while distancing herself from the black artists who built their careers on raw, uncomfortable truths. He called her an Oreo, Black on the outside, white on the inside. Ice Cube, despite decades of cultural impact, was never invited to her show. Not for barbershop. Not for Straight Outta Compton. Not for black. White. And when he finally asked why, the answer was chilling. He didn't fit her narrative. Oprah's gatekeeping isn't random. It's curated. Controlled. And that control extends beyond her show. Remember Leaving Neverland? Oprah went all in, hosting a special spotlighting two accusers who had previously testified Michael Jackson never harmed them. Michael was long dead. The facts were contested. But Oprah planted her flag. She never did the same for Harvey. She never grilled Diddy. She never questioned the white executives she was seen hugging on red carpets. But Michael, she pounced. And the audience noticed. Then came the John of God scandal. Oprah once praised him as a miracle worker. Years later, he was arrested for running a human trafficking ring and selling babies. Oprah quietly scrubbed her platforms of his presence. No apology. No statement. Just vanished. It's the same playbook. Lend your brand. Reap the benefits. And when it falls apart, fade into silence. Even when her South African school faced allegations of abuse within its dorms, Oprah offered minimal transparency. She offered statements, sure, but not the kind of vocal, public reckoning that she demands from others. And that silence, again, spoke volumes. Seal once suggested Oprah knew about Weinstein's crimes. Within days, he was hit with a battery charge. Coincidence? Maybe. But for those already skeptical, it looked like punishment. Like control. Even Cat Williams said Oprah plays chess with reputations. If you challenge her carefully curated image, there are consequences. And then there was Maui. When the wildfires devastated the island, Oprah's untouched estates raised eyebrows. Instead of immediately donating, she launched a fundraiser, asking the public for help, despite sitting on $1 billion empire. It wasn't just tone-deaf. It was insulting. And it confirmed what many were beginning to fear. Oprah protects her brand before she protects people. So when Denzel Washington reportedly steps forward with concern, it lands differently. He's not chasing clout. He's reflecting something that's been brewing in silence. He's putting weight behind decades of whispers. And suddenly, the carefully constructed walls around Oprah Winfrey's empire don't look so impenetrable anymore. Maybe it's time we stop clapping on cue. Maybe it's time we ask the questions we were told not to. Maybe the truth about Oprah has been right in front of us all along, wrapped in billion-dollar branding, shrouded in soft-spoken wisdom, and protected by an image that no longer reflects the full picture. Because if Denzel is questioning it, maybe we should too.